welcome to the Red Boar Radio Network, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Red Boar, and today I want to talk about the current state of Bitcoin and the seemingly collapsing crypto market. Right now, on 1/17 at about 11:45 a.m., all cryptos, at least 99% of cryptos in the top 100, I think one is up, which is USD Tether, which is actually pegged to the US dollar, so it's expected, to be up. But all true cryptocurrencies are currently down, most down double digits. There is a lot of doom and gloom in the crypto sphere right now, and I want to address that. So let's jump right into it. What I think is happening with Bitcoin is, first of all, is two things. The first thing is, I think just pure fear and panic are abounding in the market. And I wasn't actually planning on talking about this, but it reminds me of whenever I was reading the Iliad, written by Homer, one of the first great epics in Western history. They personify fear and panic in the Iliad. They're personified as actual gods, as deities. And in the course of a battle, fear and panic will wade into the battle and begin turning the tide. And people begin to rout and run. No matter what the fundamentals say, no matter if you're winning the battle, once fear and panic set in, it's hard to reverse. I think that's what's going on right now. And the reason this is happening is because, well, first of all, because the bulls started turning into bears. So I think that the bulls decided that they wanted to take some profits, and they wanted to start driving down the price, and that's what they did. They started taking profits, and they started moving down the price. And when they started doing this, I think a lot of weak hands got scared and started shaking loose. And it kind of compounded on itself, leading to a market rout. And I think this is exactly what the bulls want. And well, the bears, they're now the bears. I think that's exactly what the bears want, is they want a massive sell-off right now because they want to get all these guys who bought in at the mid-teen levels, they bought in at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. They want these guys out of there. They want to shake these guys loose, and they want to scoop up cheap coins. So I think that has a little bit to do with it. Also, some of the news is not helping the situation, right? So right at the time that bulls start taking profit and turning it into bears, China comes out and says it wants to shut down. It's considering shutting down exchanges totally. All exchanges in China being shut down. And they're considering a ban on cryptocurrency mining. And for those of you who don't know, some of the largest mining operations in the world currently take place in China. So that added a little bit of FUD to the market, a little bit of fear and panic. Also, South Korea has not been helping the news. South Korea's government has kind of been sending mixed messages lately on what they plan on doing with cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Some regulators in the government are saying that it's akin to gambling, and they're scared that people are going to gamble away their life's fortunes. Others are saying, hey, let's not jump into this too fast without actually doing our own research. So the South Korean government is divided about what to do, and that leads to, of course, uncertainty, right? And whenever you have uncertainty, especially in regards to one of the largest Bitcoin markets in the world, South Korea, it can lead to a little bit of fear and a little bit of panic. Then you have Germany, and this is the article I have up right here. Germany, the central A member of Germany's central bank has come out and said that he believes that regulation of cryptocurrencies must be done on a global basis, because he believes that national or regional rules would prove difficult to enforce. And I think we're seeing that. So basically, I mean, what he's saying makes sense. I mean, if you're a global regulator and you are against Bitcoin, you would like to have a global approach to this Bitcoin quote-unquote problem, because it's a global currency. I mean, that's what it's trying to become. It's trying to become a global thing, and it is. It's already a global phenomenon. So it would make sense that they would want a global response. It is a little bit worrying, right? Like, are they gonna use, are the powers, they as in the powers that be, gonna use this as an excuse to kind of integrate into a one world governmental system? You know, I mean, I think conspiracy theories would say that. But the good news right now is that the global governing bodies don't have enough power at the moment to do anything. So all we are going to see in the short term is national approaches, regional approaches. China, South Korea, Germany, these countries may take individual nation-state steps to regulate Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but Bitcoin has proved resilient in the past, and I think that as long as these governments keep attacking Bitcoin in the short term, piecemeal, they're going to fail. And every time they fail, it just is going to give Bitcoin more strength and more resistance against the next attack. And so I think that that is good news, really, actually. And in the short term, it may not be good news, but give me a second, guys. I need to. In the long term, I think it will turn out to be not a problem, because the global governing bodies are simply not strong enough to crack Bitcoin, I don't think. And the final thing I think that is adding some serious FUD to this market, some serious fear and panic, is the BitConnect issue. For those of you that don't know, BitConnect was essentially a giant Ponzi scheme. They depended upon referrals to keep money coming into the site in order to prop up the site, in my opinion. What they did was they operated as kind of as an exchange, but also as a lending service. So they would say, hey, you come in and you give us 1 Bitcoin, and we will give you we will take that Bitcoin and we will lend it out to other people who need money, and we will give you a 40% return on that Bitcoin. So it was kind of like a lending operation / pyramid Ponzi scheme. Well, it has pretty much collapsed. BitConnect has announced on its website that they are closing their lending operations immediately, but that they will, quote, still operate as an exchange. This news has led to a 90% drop in the coin, the BitConnect coin, which is BCC, and it has left many people pretty much broke, because a lot of people were putting huge amounts of money and life savings into this coin, and it has collapsed. Here, I just want to go quickly over some stuff on Twitter that I found. This is from a person posting about BitConnect. Lost my life savings in BitConnect. Please help. I've invested over $500,000 into BitConnect in currencies on the exchange with the help of a business loan. This guy took out a business loan. I plan to withdraw within a month or 2. Now I can't access the funds to sell, and the market crashed. I cannot pay for the business. My family needs the funds. I need help. Please, for the sake of all that is good, in the name of assistance, I need financial advice. This is the worst day, and I feel like gambling. I cannot deal with this. Please help and give advice. That's from one guy. Here's another one on the screen. I'm not going to read it, but you can see it. And then here's the last one I'm going to read. This is all a bad joke, right? It says BCC is at $30 on CoinMarketCap. People on Telegram are telling me that BCC is not even worth $8 now. Is this real? I am ruined. Like, really ruined. I have nothing left. I put everything I had into this because I trusted them. Literally, all of my family's savings are in BCC. Because of a friend told me the risk was worth it. Are you telling me I lost everything? $80,000 gone? So these are just a couple Twitter messages that have been posted about the BCC collapse. And we kind of all knew this was coming. Long story short, I think that is contributing to a lot of the FUD and the fear in the market right now. This is just, a combination of BitConnect, Germany, South Korea, China, all coupled with bears, taking profits, bulls taking profits and turning into bears. It's just a perfect storm right now. But there is good news. Here's some good news out of Korea. Over 200,000 people have signed a petition in South Korea urging regulators not to do anything extreme regarding cryptocurrencies. Because the petition was signed by over 200,000 people within 30 days, the government of South Korea is now forced to respond. So we will be getting a response from South Korea within the next 30 days. It will most likely be a very vague response, is my guess. But there is good news that the people of South Korea do seem to have some fight in them and do want to kind of push back. Also, Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, says that he is going to accept Bitcoin and Ethereum next season at Dallas Maverick games. That seems to be pretty good news. Now, Mark Cuban is an investor in Bitcoin. He was an early hater, but has switched to an investor. And I think it's overall just a general trend, right? Despite all the FUD in the market, despite all the fear and panic and doom and gloom, we still have little things happening. We have things like this happening. We have Lightning Network getting ready to come online. For those of you that don't know, Lightning Network is going to be essentially a free and instant way to transfer Bitcoins as a payment method. So instead of paying these huge fees and waiting a day and a half for the transaction to go through, it'll be seamless. It'll be instant. And actually, Lightning Network already exists. It's just in testing phases right now. So it's there, and it works. But they're not going to fully release something onto the king of kings of the crypto market and change something without them knowing it's right. And they got it right. And that's what they're doing right now, is they're making sure they got it right. Last thing that I think is good news for the crypto market, well, not for the crypto market, but for Bitcoin, is that Bitcoin's collapse right now is dragging down all the other coins. And that may not seem like good news on the surface, but I think it is, because it proves that Bitcoin is the reserve crypto. It is the gold of crypto. And that where it goes, the other ones will follow. So yes, I believe altcoins are good for speculation. But ultimately, where this market is going is going to be driven by where Bitcoin goes. If Bitcoin dies, the alt markets are going to die. And if cryptocurrency is going to succeed, Bitcoin is going to be the one that's going to drive us to new highs. It is going to be the one that pulls the crypto markets, past $1 trillion in market cap to 2 trillion to 4 trillion to 8 trillion. Bitcoin is the king, and it's going to remain the king. And I think that is really good news for Bitcoin maximalists. So finally, what I want to say about, to kind of wrap all this up before we move into chart analysis, is don't panic. If you invested in Bitcoin somewhere during the rise, you should be long anyways. Right now, we are in a day traders and scalper market. So people that are trading, little swings, trying to make $500 here, $500 there, or $10,000 here, $10,000 there. But they're trading the little swings. So this is a trader's market, and my unprofessional advice would be to add to your longs here. If you got in at 12,000, and now don't go out and get a loan to add to your longs, but if you got in at 11, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,000, and we're setting at 10,000, between 9 and 10,000, why not add? If you get some cash laying around, why not add $1,000? I mean, you may not see Bitcoin this low again. Then again, it may go to 7. Okay, so that's why you don't go all in right now. That's why you ladder in your buys. You add 1,000 now, you add 1,000 at 8,000, you add 1,000 at 7,000. But this coin is not going to die, and it may be stagnant for a little while, but in the long term, this coin's going up. And I think we're going to close the year above 40,000, definitely. And in the long term, we're going to see $100,000 with this coin. So just chill out, relax, enjoy the ride, and I'd say add to the longs because your kids will thank you one day. Okay, now I want to move on to a little bit of chart analysis here. Currently, we're sitting at about 10,165. This is the BitMEX market, so I don't know exactly. Let me look and see where GDAX is sitting. Right now, we have GDAX sitting at 10,170. So, it's fluctuating. I think it made a run. It made a run to about 10,400 a little bit ago and then dropped. But anyways, what I wanted to say here, just real quickly, here we're looking at the MACD, and you can see the MACD is it's at negative 600 right now. It is low. This is the 26-day moving average minus the, the 9-day moving average. And once this blue line crosses this more general yellow line, generally what that says is the trend is up. Or once it crosses down, the trend is down. As you can see, we crossed up here around, and this is the hourly chart, around 13.8. And if you would have just listened, you could have rode this thing all the way down to, about 10.4. And then we crossed back up, had a short-term little burst, and now, boom, a collapse again. So now we're touching. I think that this candle right here is getting ready to close in 21 seconds. Looks like we're going to close pretty red. But if we could get a green candle here in the next hour, we could, maybe make a move up to 10, 10.5, 10.6, 10.7 and close at those levels, then we could be seeing a turn in the hourly, which would be good news. Go to the 4-hour, we're still, pretty downward here. I mean, this is just brutal in the 4-hour, but what are you going to do? I mean, we just got to hope that we get a turn. I mean, at least we got a green developing here. If we could get a few greens in a row, it would be great. If not, I mean, I guess it's realistic that we could see, sub 8,000s. We could see 7,500. I just don't know, how much more energy does this market have in a sell-off? I mean, we have just been, look at this 4-hour. We have had a brutal sell-off here. Just looking at it, I don't see how we can go much lower, but maybe we can. But I just think that overall, this 4-hour will turn the corner, and we will begin to head back up and test 13, 14, maybe even test 15 again pretty soon. So just keep an eye on this 4-hour MACD and an eye on the hourly MACD. And that's what I'm wanting. See, look, we do have a little bit of a cross developing here. If we can get the next candle to close at 10.5, 10.6, 10.7, we're gonna see that cross sustain, and then that'll be really good news. If we can get a few candles closing up here, it would just be awesome. But we'll see. Last thing I wanted to point out, guys, is just show you this chart that I made. I made this last night, and it kind of points out that we have not. This is not unprecedented, guys. So the current sell-off, right? Well, hold on. The current sell-off right now started on January 7th, so about 10 days ago, and so far has been about a 45% sell-off. So we started out at about 17.2, and we got to a low of about 9.5. And you know, if you really want to go all the way down here on this wick, it'd be 9.2, but you know, let's say 9.5, 9.6 as a low. That's a 45% ish sell off, which is huge. Don't get me wrong, but if you go back to 12.17 to 12.22, we had a 40% drop here. You know, we went from a high of 19.6, 19.7, all the way down to 11.3. You know, so 40% drop there, and what do? We rebounded. Now we rebounded only to sell off again, but still not unprecedented. Now let's go back to November 8th. So this sell-off here started on November 8th at a high of about 7,800 and proceeded to sell off all the way until the 12th. So about a 4-day sell-off, and it was about a 30% drop. Pretty hefty drop. All the way down to 5,600. And what do? We just proceeded to climb up and up and up to all-time highs. Now, back in September, a 42% drop. September 1st was the high of about 5,000. And by the 15th, so 10 days later, which is about how long our sell-off so far has been currently, we were down all the way to 3,000, which is about a 42% drop. Going further back, on 6/11, so I guess that'd be June 11th, we had a high of 2,990, about 3,000. And by the 15th, 4 days later, we had dropped all the way back down to about 2,000. So a drop of about 30%. Right before that, on May 25th to May 27th, we had a high of 2,754. And we dropped all the way down to 1,853. 2-day sell-off, 30% drop. Then back in March 15th to March 25th, once again, a 10-day sell-off, right about where we are at. We went from 1,263 all the way down to 890. A 30% drop over 10 days. What do? We recovered. And then finally, to complete kind of the yearly thing, we had a 33% drop from January 5th to January 12th. We were at 1,141, and we ended up dropping all the way down to 751, which is a 33% drop. So, all that being said, over the past year, we have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drops greater than 30%. 2 of them greater than 40%. And we are currently in the middle of a 45% drop, right around the same time as we started the new year off last year with a 33% drop. We're starting the new year off this year with a 45% drop. So, is this bad? Yes. Is this not fun? Yes, this is not fun. But is this disaster? No. This market is going to rebound, guys. We are going to go back up. And you know what? We are going to test all-time highs again this year. This market will be at 20,000 by the end of this year. Now, I know that's not a very bold prediction, right? I'm not going out on a limb here, but just think about that. Think about that. Pretty much everyone in the crypto space agrees that we are going to test all-time highs before this year's out, which means we're going to over double where we are sitting right now. Right now, we're sitting at 9,900. So that would tell me this is a time to buy. To buy and long. This thing is going up, guys. This is getting ready to be the largest transfer of wealth in world history. This is Internet 2.0. We're going to change the world here, guys. you should be bullish on this thing. All right. That's all I have. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to Red Boar Radio Network. For those of you who made it all the way through this video, congratulations. And I certainly appreciate you being here. I hope everyone has a blessed day, and tune back in next time. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you actually made it all the way through the video. Thanks a lot, guys. Here's a little outro music. Hope y'all enjoy it. I'm gonna play the whole thing, 3 minutes.
You make me feel like
Adios.
you turn around, I feel the breeze over me. You watch your dreams unfold, let it come around and let it breathe over me. It's time to go away into the light. I feel the calming energy. I see the darkness coming, and I'm calling you to help me set me free. I'm calling for you. I'm calling for you. I'm calling for you. Lie all the fate of the world in your plans, guarding your faith with the palm of your hands. I know, yeah, I know, it's the unknown, the unknown. It's time to go away into the light. I feel the calming energy. I see the darkness coming, and I'm calling you to help me set me free. I'm calling for you. I'm calling for you. I'm calling for you.
Thank you, guys. Have a blessed day.